I am not one to have many prophetic dreams. I don't have them on a continual basis, but I've had a few in my life. And this one is from summer of 1988. And in the dream starts out, my little brother and I were in some kind of war room, and we were looking at a map of the United States. And where our focus was on the east coast of the United States. And what we noticed was there was perforated lines in the mid-Atlantic area of the ocean heading towards the coast. And it looked like there was 4 or 5 of these lines. And in the dream, I knew it had something to do with submarines. So all I could say was it looked as though it was torpedoes under the water. What I saw is that these perforated lines ran up towards the coast, stopped about 100 miles off. I saw nothing after that. And there was 4 or 5 of them. They were launched pretty much at the same time. After this thing that we saw, the scene changed and our eyes focused on the breadbasket, the center of the United States, and what we saw was martial law with a single red star, and that pretty much was the end of the dream. Since many years have passed, I've come across articles and things that possibly could explain what I was seeing. Others have seen tidal waves, massive tidal waves. Some of them have seen water come clear out to Appalachia, clear out to like Asheville, North Carolina. I mean, several hundred miles inland. Water coming clear up to the tip of these mountains all the way to Appalachia. What would happen with a 100 megaton detonation, nuclear weapon detonation? How much volume of water could it push towards the shore if it was detonated with a 100 megaton nuclear weapon under the ocean near the continental slope as it pushes all of that water towards the coast? Russia has worked on a torpedo called the Poseidon, and I've added a clip to this video to explain possibilities of this torpedo and how it would be delivered. Currently, they have one submarine, the Russians do, that is capable of carrying 6 of these unmanned nuclear torpedoes, and that's where they would be launched from, is from the sub. You know, God can change everything. But I have a feeling that if our country doesn't repent of sin, God has laid down a history of what he does with a nation who does not repent. Okay, here is the clip explaining the Russian technology that has been developed in the last 10 or so years.
The massive torpedo has been in the works for at least a decade. Once complete, experts say Poseidon can help Russia target coastal cities and military bases in the US and other NATO countries. As shown in this clip from Russia's Ministry of Defense, Poseidon will be equipped on submarines, similar to some ballistic missiles in Russia's current nuclear arsenal. Russia calls it an unmanned underwater vehicle, or drone. It portrays Poseidon as able to guide itself around obstacles and enemy countermeasures, reaching great depths and high speeds. Although initial Russian media reports indicated Poseidon's nuclear warhead could be up to 100 megatons, more recently, Russian media has reported that the warhead would instead be 2 megatons. Even then, the explosive yield of a 2 megaton warhead is about 95 times larger than the bomb the US dropped over Nagasaki, and 133 times larger than the one dropped over Hiroshima.
This is orders of magnitude larger in terms of the scale, the destruction, the devastation that this weapon could create.
But because Poseidon is meant to detonate underwater, its exact impact is unknown. A congressional report said Russia views Poseidon as a second strike weapon, but its potential capabilities led some analysts to believe it could function as a first strike weapon.
Russia has very specifically said that it is prepared to use nuclear weapons first if NATO countries attack Russia directly. And so this would potentially give an option to the Russian leadership for how to do that.